Welcome back to the golden age of American cooking, when Grandma said, "It's good for you," and then casually dumped something into the casserole that's now banned in most of the civilized world. Today we're diving into 25 classic recipes from the 1900s through the 1970s that used ingredients modern food regulators would have a full-on panic attack over. Borax in your fruit salad, formaldehyde in the milk, red dye number 3 turning everything neon cherry, raw milk straight from Bessie the cow. And the punchline? We ate it, we drank it, and somehow, most of us are still here. So grab a seat at the Formica table, pour yourself a glass of Tang, and let's take a nostalgic and slightly terrifying trip down memory lane. Borax fruit salad Jell-O mold. Grandma's secret weapon for that perfect potluck shine? A sneaky pinch of borax in the Jell-O mold. Keeps the fruit crisp, she'd say, while the FDA was still figuring out what borax actually does to humans. That wobbly, neon green salad with suspended pineapple chunks and maraschino cherries looked like modern art. If modern art came with a hazmat warning, we happily scooped it onto our plates at every family reunion, smiled politely, and somehow lived to tell the tale. Borax, the unsung hero of 1950s salads.
We ate this and survived. So can you. Subscribe now.
Formaldehyde-preserved milk. Before fridges were common and pasteurization became law, some clever or desperate dairymen added a dash of formaldehyde to milk to stop it from going bad. Yes, the same stuff they used to pickle corpses. Tasted like regret mixed with chemistry lab. Kids drank it, moms cooked with it, and nobody batted an eye. It's fresh, they said. Sure, if fresh means chemically embalmed. We chugged it down and still managed to grow up. Talk about building character the hard way. Red dye number 3 cherry Coke cake. That electric, glowing red cherry cake everyone loved at birthdays? Powered by red dye number 3, the same dye the FDA later banned because it might turn lab rats into glowing tumors. In the 60s and 70s, we didn't care. We wanted cake that looked like it belonged in a sci-fi movie. Bright red frosting, maraschino cherries on top, pure 1970s glamour. We ate slice after slice, got sugar highs that lasted till Tuesday, and somehow avoided turning into radioactive superheroes. Raw milk custard pie. Sunday dinner wasn't complete without Grandma's silky custard pie, made with raw, straight from the cow milk. No pasteurización, no worries. Just pure, unfiltered dairy roulette. Salmonella? Listeria? That's how we built strong immune systems back in my day, she'd say while cracking eggs into the bowl. We devoured it with whipped cream and a side of blind faith. Kids today would need a waiver to eat it. We just called it dessert. And spoiler, most of us survived. Lard and borax fried donuts. Nothing says Sunday morning like homemade donuts fried in a vat of lard, with a little borax tossed into the dough for extra puff. Yes, the same borax you use to clean laundry. Grandma swore it made them light as air. We believed her because they were hot, sugary, and tasted like childhood. Meanwhile, the FDA was quietly adding borax to the do not eat list. We dipped them in coffee, burned our tongues, and lived to brag about it. Peak American ingenuity. Chicken a la king with cream of mushroom soup. The king of 1950s casseroles. Chicken a la king, starring a can of cream of mushroom soup that had more mystery ingredients than a Cold War spy novel. Sodium, MSG, thickeners, and something the label called natural flavor. We poured it over toast points or rice and called it fancy. Mom said it was elegant. We just wanted seconds. That grayish goop kept generations fed, and probably gave our livers a part-time job. Comfort food with a side of questionable chemistry. Jell-O pretzel salad with Cool Whip and margarine crust. Midwest church potluck royalty. A pretzel crust, made with melted margarine, a layer of cream cheese, then lime Jell-O with pineapple and strawberries, topped with a mountain of Cool Whip. Trans fats? Check. Artificial everything? Double check. We fought over the corner pieces like it was gold. It's a salad, we told ourselves, ignoring the fact it was basically dessert in denial. We ate it proudly and still fit into our bell-bottoms. Barely.
We ate this and survived. Subscribe before your liver gives up. The America we cherish.
Banana bread with old-school baking powder. Grandma's banana bread was legendary, moist, sweet, and possibly laced with traces of lead or aluminum from early 20th century baking powder. The stuff was cheap, worked great, and nobody asked questions. We slathered it with butter and called it breakfast. Tasted like love with a faint metallic zing. Modern bakers would faint. We just shrugged and went for seconds. If we survived lead paint chips as kids, a little baking powder wasn't going to stop us. Velveeta-Rotel dip, the ultimate party starter of the 70s. A block of Velveeta melted with a can of Rotel tomatoes and green chiles. Processed cheese product meets canned mystery veggies. Pure magic on tortilla chips. We called it queso and devoured it at every Super Bowl party. The ingredient list was longer than a CVS receipt, but who cared? It was hot, gooey, and made us feel like we were living the dream. We ate it until our fingers turned orange and called it a win. Tang, the astronaut drink. Tang, the orange powder that went to the moon and straight into every 1960s kitchen. Packed with yellow number 5, yellow number 6, sugar, and enough citric acid to strip paint. If it's good enough for astronauts, it's good enough for us, Mom said while mixing a pitcher the size of a fishbowl. We drank gallons, got sugar crashes, and ran around like caffeinated squirrels. Space-age nutrition? More like space-age diabetes precursor. Still iconic.
We ate this and survived. Subscribe before your liver gives up.
Spam and pineapple Hawaiian pizza. Hawaiian pizza. Canned spam, artificially sweetened pineapple rings, and a boatload of cheese on dough. 1950s exotic cooking at its finest. Spam was cheap, shelf-stable, and looked suspiciously like meat. We thought we were worldly. Kids today call it a crime scene. We called it dinner. Sweet, salty, greasy perfection. We ate it while watching the Brady Bunch and felt like we were on vacation. In our own living room. Green lime Jell-O salad with cottage cheese and mini marshmallows. The infamous green Jell-O salad, lime gelatin mixed with cottage cheese, pineapple, and a cloud of mini marshmallows. That vivid green came from a dye we later decided was questionable. It wobbled proudly on every holiday table. "It's good for you," Grandma insisted. We poked it, giggled, and ate it anyway. Tasted like sugar and regret. Looked like a science fair project gone wrong. Still showed up at every family gathering like an uninvited cousin. Salisbury steak with MSG gravy. Salisbury steak swimming in thick brown gravy loaded with MSG, the umami bomb of the 1960s. Mom called it hearty. We called it dinner in 15 minutes. That little packet of seasoning made everything taste like it came from a 5-star restaurant or a chemistry set. Headaches? Nah, just character building. We cleaned our plates and asked for seconds while the FDA quietly added MSG to the watch list. Comfort food with a side of flavor enhancer regret. Coffee cake with margarine frosting. Classic coffee cake topped with margarine-based frosting that listed partially hydrogenated oil, like it was a feature, not a bug. Trans fats so proud they should have had their own zip code. We ate big slices with coffee while Dad read the paper and Mom had her morning cigarette. Sugar, grease, caffeine, the breakfast trifecta. Modern nutritionists would have a meltdown. We just called it Sunday morning and kept going back for more. Deviled ham spread on Wonder Bread. Underwood deviled ham, basically mystery meat in a can with nitrites, salt, and enough spices to mask the fact it was canned in the Truman administration. Slathered on soft white Wonder Bread with a squirt of mustard. Lunchbox royalty for generations. It's protein, Mom said. We believed her because it tasted like salty nostalgia. Nitrates gave it that pink glow of questionable health. We ate it anyway and lived to pack another sandwich.
We ate this and survived. Subscribe before your liver gives up.
Rainbow layer cake with all the artificial dyes. 7 layers of cake. Each a different screaming color thanks to red 40, yellow 5, blue 1, and friends. Looked like a Lisa Frank binder exploded in the kitchen. Birthday kids went wild. Parents went blind. We sliced it like it was fine art and devoured it with zero guilt. Those dyes later got banned or restricted, but in the 70s, it was just festive. We survived the sugar coma and the Technicolor tongue. Victory. Canned creamed corn casserole. A Pyrex dish of creamed corn from a can, mixed with butter, sugar, and sometimes crushed crackers on top. Sweet, gloopy, and inexplicably comforting. 1950s side dish perfection. It's vegetables, we told ourselves, ignoring the fact it was basically dessert in corn costume. Kids today would need therapy after one bite. We fought over the crispy edges and called it love. Pure mid-century magic. Bologna and American cheese with Miracle Whip. Thick slices of bologna, neon yellow American cheese, and a generous smear of Miracle Whip on white bread. Miracle Whip, basically mayo with extra sugar and mystery spices. We packed these for school lunches and traded them like Pokemon cards. It's a sandwich, we insisted. Nutritionists wept. We just wanted something that didn't require chewing too hard. Classic American lunchbox survival food. Fruit cocktail in heavy syrup. Can fruit cocktail drowning in thick, sugary syrup with a heavy dose of red 40 for those sad peach and pear pieces. We ate it straight from the bowl or dumped it into Jell-O. It's fruit, Grandma declared proudly. Sure, if fruit means sugar water with occasional texture. We spooned it down like it was health food and wondered why we were so hyper afterward. Peak 1960s fruit experience. Tuna noodle casserole with potato chip topping. Canned tuna, cream of mushroom soup, egg noodles, peas, and a glorious crushed potato chip crust. Baked until bubbly and slightly burnt on top. The ultimate 1960s comfort casserole. We called it Tuna Surprise. The surprise was how much sodium was in one scoop. Mom made it when money was tight. We ate it like it was gourmet. Still crave it on rainy days. And the heartburn that follows. Kool-Aid with sugar and red dye. Pitchers of Kool-Aid mixed with a full cup of sugar and enough red dye to stain everything it touched. Summer staple. Kids drank it by the gallon, ran around like sugar-crazed gremlins, and left red mustaches on everything. It's just fruit flavor, parents said. Sure, if fruit grows in a dye factory. We survived the crashes and the stained t-shirts. Iconic backyard fuel. Pillsbury Crescent roll pigs in a blanket. Pillsbury Crescent dough wrapped around little cocktail weenies full of nitrites and mystery meat. Baked until golden and greasy. Game day royalty in the 70s and 80s. They're tiny hot dogs, we said, like that made it healthy. dipped in mustard or barbecue sauce. Pure joy. Trans fats in the dough, preservatives in the weenies. We ate trays of them and still made it to adulthood.
We ate this and survived. Subscribe before your liver gives up. The America we cherish.
Ambrosia salad. Mini marshmallows, canned mandarin oranges, pineapple chunks, shredded coconut, and a tub of Cool Whip. Called it salad to feel better about ourselves. Tasted like dessert had a midlife crisis. Holiday tables weren't complete without it. Sugar high guaranteed. We fought over the last spoonfuls and pretended it balanced out the turkey. Sweet, fluffy denial in a bowl. Jiffy cornbread with bacon grease. Jiffy cornbread mix baked in a skillet greased with leftover bacon fat because butter's too expensive. Crispy edges, dense center, pure southern comfort. We slathered it with more grease or butter and called it breakfast, lunch, or dinner. Cholesterol, never heard of her. Grandma knew best. We ate it hot from the oven and thanked the pig that gave its life for flavor. Grandma's mystery meatloaf. Ground beef, breadcrumbs, eggs, onion, and a giant squirt of ketchup laced with sodium benzoate. Sometimes celery, sometimes oats, always mystery spices. Nobody knew the exact recipe, not even Grandma after the third glass of wine. Baked until crusty on top. Served with mashed potatoes and pride. We ate it, loved it, and never asked questions. The taste of unconditional love and preservatives. So yeah, we ate it. We drank it. We slathered it on everything. And somehow, most of us are still here. Maybe boomers and Gen X just have iron livers. Maybe it was the lead paint and mercury fillings doing the heavy lifting. Or maybe love, nostalgia, and a healthy dose of denial beat any FDA warning. Our grandmas cooked with what they had and did it with love. Today we know better, and we're a little more careful. But let's be honest, part of us still misses that glowing green Jell-O mold. If you survived at least 5 of these kitchen war crimes, drop the number in the comments and say, I made it. Subscribe for more stories about how America ate, drank, and somehow survived. Thanks for watching, and keep the borax out of your desserts.